There should be no doubt about climate change. It's real, and we must act now before it's too late. According to an ongoing temperature analysis conducted by scientists at NASA's Goddard Institute for Space Studies, the average global temperature on Earth has increased by a little more than 1 degree Celsius since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution in 1880. In 2020, unprecedented heat around the world caused global land and ocean surface temperatures to rise to their highest temperatures registered since recording began 141 years ago. In 2020, the average temperature was at 1.75 degrees Fahrenheit above the 20th century average of 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Without the greenhouse effect, the average temperature on Earth would be roughly -2 degrees Fahrenheit, rather than the 57 degrees Fahrenheit we currently experience. However, human activities have been causing extra greenhouse gases to be emitted into the atmosphere. Heat that would normally be radiated into space is trapped within the Earth's atmosphere, changing the Earth's natural greenhouse effect. The use of burning fossil fuels for transportation is one of the worst examples of human activity affecting the Earth's natural greenhouse effect. Aircraft emit staggering amounts of CO2, as do the millions of cars on the road every day. Fossil fuels are also burned to produce electricity and heating for homes, businesses, industries, and power plants. All of these human activities have released significant amounts of carbon dioxide and other gases into the atmosphere. And these excess gases have caused Earth's atmosphere to trap more heat, increasing the Earth's temperature. Because when air is filled with CO2 and other greenhouse gases, the air becomes warmer and drier. Warmer and drier air leads to a higher risk of wildfires. Every fire needs a spark to ignite and fuel to burn. The hot and dry conditions in the atmosphere increase the likelihood of a fire starting, its intensity, and the speed at which it spreads. Over the past several decades, as the world has increasingly warmed, so has its potential to burn. Further, the amount of snow falling in winter is not equal to the amount of ice melting in summer. The state of balance of the loss of ice sheets in summer and the gain of snowfalls in winter are not in balance. We are losing more and not gaining enough ice to keep this important balance stable. The water from this melted ice flows into the oceans and adds to their volume. While there are other factors causing the rising level of our oceans, satellite records taken since the 1990s clearly show that melting ice from the polar caps has been the largest contributor. These rising sea levels could flood coastal areas across the globe, putting millions of lives at risk. Most global scientists have urged action on climate change for decades, but is there still any hope we can fix climate change and reduce the global temperature? Hope is not lost, and we can work together to fix it. The leaders of every country need to address tackling climate change as their #1 issue. UN Chief Antonio Guterres said they will also need to take decisive action now to put themselves on the path towards achieving this vision. Demand to replace fossil fuels. We need to act now by cutting 1/3 carbon emissions by 2030. Net zero refers to cutting greenhouse gas emissions as far as possible and balancing any further releases by removing an equivalent amount from the atmosphere. We must put a price on carbon. Phase out fossil fuel finances and end fossil fuel subsidies. Shift the tax burden from income to carbon and from taxpayers to polluters. Integrate the goal of carbon neutrality, a similar concept to net zero, into all economic and fiscal policies and decisions. We must help those already affected by climate change. Individuals like you can make a difference. Demand your government invest in renewable energy like wind and solar power. When possible, drive less and walk or bike more. Demand climate policy change from your elected officials. Don't waste food and say no to plastics and plastic products. Use eco-friendly products when possible. Eat a plant-based diet. Did you know cows release methane when they burp and fart? Eating less meat means producing less heat. The EPA estimates that cows and other ruminating animals produce an estimated 1/3 of the U.S. agricultural methane emissions. There is no planet B. We have no other world to escape to. So let's all work together to create a better future for the next generations. It's up to humans to solve the climate change problem before it's too late. Planet Earth is our home, and it's up to us to protect it. Our planet, home to many species, let's protect it before it's too late. Listen to our Planet Earth Environment podcast.